What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to teach you how to start your very own SMMA with zero investment. If you're new to the channel, you might not know who I am, so let me introduce myself. My name is Bianca. I own a digital marketing agency based right here in the UK, and we predominantly deal with e-commerce clients. So what we do is we buy advertising space for e-commerce brands to help them sell more product. Now, I know what you might be thinking. That's great. How am I going to get into that because I have no experience? Well, the good thing about the SMMA model is that you don't need any experience. Effectively, what we're trying to do here is teach you how to be a business owner and not a service provider. So today I've put together some slides, I've put together a little presentation. I'm going to walk you through exactly how you can follow in my footsteps and start creating work for yourself and generating retainers from anywhere from £1,000 up to £10,000 per client. Let's get into it. How to start a social media marketing agency with zero costs. Now, before we get into it, we've got to cover a few things. So obviously you've got what is SMMA? Do you need money to get started? How can you find prospects? How to secure meetings? How to sign clients with zero experience? And then obviously how to get results for your clients, and then how to get started. So what is social media marketing? Social media marketing is basically social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, all of that sort of stuff. They sell advertising space on their platform. So whenever you scroll through your Facebook feed and you see something that says sponsored, or you see an ad for something that you've looked at on a website, it's usually because you've been retargeted and that company is running Facebook advertising. Now, you can do advertising on pretty much every social media platform. TikTok, you can do it, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn even. The predominant point of this is to put your business in front of your potential customers and the people most suited to purchase whatever it is that you're selling. So that could be a physical product, or that could be a digital product. Now, in terms of getting started, what do you need? Like when I got started, I didn't have a website, I didn't have a logo, I didn't even have business cards. To be honest, business cards for me are quite outdated. I can't remember the last time someone's handed me a business card, and if they have I kept it? Probably not. I carry around a little card wallet, which doesn't leave much room for business cards, and in all eventuality, most of the time, if you want to get hold of someone, you ask their social media handles. That's just the world that we live in nowadays. The only things that you really need to get started is a domain name, a business email, and then an internet connection. That is literally it. So when I say it's $0 or £0, it's sort of near or nearabouts. Effectively, you don't need to spend more than £10, but to be fair, you can get started with a normal Gmail. However, your success rates will probably be limited, just purely because it's a professional standpoint. When you approach a business, you want to come off as professional as possible. You want to put your best foot forward, and the best way to do that is to purchase a domain name. So obviously, create the name of your business, come up with the name of your business, and then go to somewhere like GoDaddy or something like that. Purchase the domain and then set up an email under that. So effectively, my email address is bianca@eclecticmedia.co.uk, and then yours would be something similar. So you've got your domain set up, you've got your email address, you're ready to start approaching people. So how do you find people to start offering them this service of advertising on social media platforms? Now, there are a few different ways. Obviously, you've got Google. Google is a fantastic free resource, and you can just jump on there and type in local gyms or local restaurants or restaurants within a 2-mile area of where I am, or even, urban brands, urban clothes brands if you're looking to get into e-commerce. But that is a fantastic way to, check out, see what people are writing about. So if you find blogs, and you'll usually get like top 10 urban brands in 2021, something like that, or top 10 sneaker brands in 2021, is a fantastic way of finding businesses that have already got some sort of social proof. Now, working with startups is it's not easy. Obviously, there's no data to work with there. So when you're starting out, you want to try and steer away from startups because there's just not enough for you to work with there. And you want to work with someone who's already established. You want to work with someone who's already got their sort of proof of concept and who have already proved their service or their business in the market, and there is a want and a need for it. Next place you can start looking for potential customers is places like Bark, Upwork, People Per Hour. You've obviously got local businesses, and another untapped resource that a lot of people don't take advantage of is actually friends and family. I know a lot of friends of mine have got businesses, not necessarily in my niche, but they do. And if you wanted to move into that niche, that's a perfect place to start. You have a good working relationship with them. You've got that bit of rapport already, and you could really offer them, some decent help that they could really make the most of. So once you've started collating all of these leads, you're going to want somewhere to store them. Obviously, you don't want to miss anyone, and there's a reason why people say there is money in the follow-up. You always want to follow up with people that you have reached out to, because business owners, they are busy and they do tend to forget. So there are CRM softwares out there, and again, they usually are paid. Some of them are free to use. There's one called HubSpot, which I have used in the past, which is fantastic. But ultimately, you could get started with a Google Sheet. If you've purchased a Google domain, you will get the Google Suite, or the G Suite, as part of that package. So you should really take advantage of that. So you'll get Google Slides, you'll get Google Sheets. You will also get like a hard drive, or a Google Docs. You'll also get a Google Drive where you can store documents or anything like that. So that is going to be something that you should really utilize, because you've already paid for it and it comes as part of the service. So once you are ready to get started and you want to start reaching out, obviously, if you're working currently or if you're in full-time education, it's going to be a little bit difficult to start taking calls or prospecting in the day. But this is where you would start to utilize the evenings and the weekends. Obviously, businesses are still open at the weekends. Majority of the businesses locally would probably be open past 5:30 if you're looking at gyms or restaurants, something like that, something local that you really know. That's a perfect place to get started. So I know it's not ideal, but it is possible to do. You can actually prospect outside of your areas. You can also prospect in the morning if you're using freelancer websites before you go to work. Just get up a little bit earlier. Prospect in the middle of the day, in your lunch break, and then again after. Again, if you can start to build up some momentum with this to a point where you actually start to make the same amount of money that you make from your day job, eventually it will be possible for you to step away from your day job, if that's what you want to do, and do this full time. But like I said, there are still ways around it, because especially if you're prospecting outside of your own immediate area, if you're prospecting other countries, for instance, they have different time zones, so the time zones might match up in order for you to prospect. But that will be something that you need to do a little bit of research on, just to check to see what are the best countries to be prospecting at 5 o'clock UK time. And then if it's Australia, for instance, you could have, I know they're like 24 hours ahead or whatnot, potentially that could be a place for you to look at, or Germany or the US. There are different time zones, so it's definitely something to take a look at and look into, because there are ways around it. Now, obviously, with COVID and everything that's been going on, Zoom has been such a big tool for business owners all over the world, whether they're small to medium businesses or they're really large businesses. Even Teams has been massive. So you really want to take advantage of video. If you cannot meet a client face to face, because obviously it's a bit tricky at the moment, make sure that when you are prospecting and you do actually get a meeting, to do it over video. It's very, very difficult to build rapport over the phone when they can't see you, because people relate to body language, and they relate to how how you come across, how you present yourself. So video is such a good tool that sort of does that subliminal sort of rapport building without you actually having to say anything. So moving on. So how do you sign clients with zero sales experience? Now, I'm a big fan of reading. I probably have about 300 books in my library currently, and that's that's growing every month because I probably buy another 6 to 8 books monthly. But you can also use Kindle books. You can use magazines. Google Alerts is another great one. You want to kind of throw yourself in at the deep end and sort of absorb as much information about the space, but also about your niche, because that's going to be so powerful. You want to connect with the people that you're contacting, and you want to show that you can speak their language, and you understand them, and you understand that the problems that they are dealing with. So really throw yourself in it and immerse yourself in the whole industry as a whole. So sales is effectively, it's just the discussion from one business owner to another. I know when I started out, I started out in sales back when I was like 18, and I was selling telephone lines back when that was a thing. And used to do it over the phone, and it was just I've got to hit my quota for today. And you get given a script and you sit down and you're just told, read this and it'll work. If not, don't let them off the phone until they say yes or they hang up. That doesn't work these days. It definitely doesn't work in the marketing space. One, we don't want to give a bad impression of ourselves or the business, because what we're doing is there to help the customer. It's there to help the client, and we are there to accelerate their already working processes. We just want to help them scale their business to the levels that they want to scale it to. So it really is nothing to get scared about. I know it's easier said than done, but just remember that it really is just a conversation between one person and another. What you want to do is you want to find out some information about the business and about the struggles that they're having, and then see if you have a solution that will help them. 9 times out of 10 you will. That will be something like Facebook ads or Google ads, but it's something that you need to have that conversation with them. So the way that I structure my calls, my sales calls or discovery calls, whatever you want to call them, is it's like a 4-point strategy. So first off, to be fair, it should be a 5-point strategy. The first couple of minutes should be spent building some rapport, like I said, just chatting to them, on a human level, finding out what their interests are, how their day's been, if they're in a different area to you, you can ask them about that, ask them how they're getting on, and just try and get a bit more relaxed and natural conversation going. The next part of the process of the strategy it's called discovery. So basically you're going to ask a load of questions, lots and lots of questions, so that you can really get to the bottom of what the problem is that they're having. Why is it that they have not hit the targets that they're looking to hit? Why is it that they're struggling to bring in customers? This is the phase where you will be able to tell whether you, one, will be able to help them or not, but two, how you'll be able to help them. And this is where you start to really put together a strategy that will help them in the future and obviously bring them on as a client. There's a well-known sort of saying that, you wouldn't go to the doctor and they would just say, oh, here, take this. And you're like, well, hang on a minute. I haven't actually told you, what the problem is, or what ailments that I have, or what my pain points are. So this is the phase where you need to really sit down with them and just dig deep and ask them the uncomfortable questions, and ask them, how would it make them feel if they had reached their targets, and what do they think is stopping them from reaching their targets. And a really good one to kick off is with just, why is it that you've accepted this meeting with me? Because I can guarantee you they've had so many meeting requests from people that yours must have stood out for some reason. So this is literally recon. You want to find out everything you can about the business itself. When you're building trust with them, what you want to do is you want to try and connect with them, like I said, try and get them on a personal level, show them that you understand the struggles that they're going through, and show them that you are the one that has the solution to help them get past what it is they're trying to get past. And then obviously once you've done all this, you want to present your solution. Now, like I said, for some businesses, Facebook ads is hands down, the best solution for them. And you'll be able to present them with some figures as to why that is. However, some solutions might involve Google. might be, pay per click. That's a discussion you're going to have with them, and you have to be honest with them. If you can't help them, you have to be honest about that, because I can guarantee you it's not going to do any good to your reputation or your business's reputation if you take on clients just for the sake of signing them and earning that little bit of money, and then you don't provide on the results, because you only get one shot at a good first impression, and you don't want to mess that up. And then obviously you want to move into the close. So this is where you start to ask them, if I'm providing you with every solution to your problems, what would stop you moving forward today? And there is a whole process around this, but you really want to make sure you've covered every single pain point and provided a solution for that, but do it on a singular basis. So address each pain point as it comes up. Right, so here we go. So let's move on to how to close a client. Like I said, first off, you want to list all of their problems and their pain points. Then you want to provide them a solution for each single pain point or problem. And then remember to solve it one problem at a time, because we don't want to overwhelm them. We don't want to just, I'm so important, I know this. Everything you do has to be in the benefit of the client. And you need to relay that to them. You're there to help them. You're there to provide a solution for them. You're not there to pull the wool over their eyes or anything like that. So you really want to, show them that you understand the business and the problems that they're going through. This will also help with your close phase, because you are addressing them one by one. Now, like I said, Facebook ads are usually the best solution because of the amount of data that they have at any given time. I think about 80% of the world is on Facebook, which is absolutely insane. But on top of that, they know everything about everyone that is on their platform. So the level of detailed targeting you can get is absolutely incredible. And obviously you can't get that same sort of level of targeting with Google. However, Google is a good solution for some businesses. So that's why you really need to dig in and find out what exactly that they need. Right, so how do you get started today? How is it, if after this video and you're like, right, great, I'm really buzzing, I want to get started, how is it you get started today? So you have to take a little initiative. Obviously, Google has access to everything, and you can pretty much learn anything on Facebook these days. On the internet these days. If you look hard enough, there are pretty much every book ever written, I think, is on the internet somewhere. You've also got YouTube videos, which there's abundance of YouTube videos, and obviously if you subscribe to my channel, I'll be dropping more videos for you on how to help you along your journey. But then you want to look at things like mentorships and courses, books, for instance. These are all things that have an abundance of information and wealth that you should really utilize. Obviously with mentorships and with some courses, to be fair, you do have access to the expert that has obviously written that course or is offering that mentorship. So that's direct access. You have access to an abundance of knowledge, so make sure you utilize that and ask adequate questions. Whenever you're doing this from the start, make sure you take plenty of notes, because there may be multiple questions that that come up that you want answers to, but that you may potentially forget. So if you're using mentorship and courses, make sure you write those down and make sure that you add them into whatever coaching or mentorship sessions that you have. So if you want to get started with social media marketing, if you want a little bit more help, I do run a Facebook group. It's absolutely free. It's called the Entrepreneur Network by Eclektic Media. You'll find the link for it in the description below. Just hop in there, and I am active in there every single day, so I will be more than happy to answer any questions for you. But I hope this video really does help you, because I know that this has been such a massive thing for me, and it can really change your life. So I hope this finds you well. Remember to like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in the next one.